and welcome to the eFresh.com Coffee News. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Indian coffee exports dipped 21%. New coffee firm faces pacts hurdle. Vietnam domestic coffee price up. Uganda to boost agriculture funding. Nestle increases capacity with 110 million ringgit upgrade. India's coffee exports have declined by 21% in the first 7 months of the current calendar year, to 117,000 tons due to a fall in global demand following a rise in prices of Indian coffee. Coffee exports stood at 148,000 tons in the corresponding period of the last year. Export orders have been less because of higher prices of Indian coffee compared to Vietnam, Brazil, and the USA. Indian coffee is quoting higher by 10 to 15% than Vietnam and the USA in the international market. According to board data, Arabica exports dipped by over 37.64% to 22,707 tons between January and July this year, from 36,414 tons in the corresponding period of the last year. Contracts that coffee farmers signed with marketing agents in Kenya could stand in the way of a firm that was set up to market the produce on behalf of small-scale growers. Although the Kenya Cooperatives Coffee Exporters Limited seeks to eliminate middlemen along the coffee marketing chain, its dream may not be realized soon since some cooperative societies have already signed milling and marketing contracts. But buoyed by the enormous support the new firm has received from coffee societies, its directors are upbeat that it will be in business during this coffee season. The Minister for Cooperative Development and Marketing, Joseph Nyaiga, told the societies that are yet to sign the contracts to do so only for milling. Officials from KCCE would come back to sign marketing contracts. The domestic price of coffee on July 31st in Vietnam rose by 3 to 400 dong per kilogram, to 25,500 to 25,600 dong per kilo as a result of soaring world coffee prices. On July 31st alone, the price of coffee on the world market rose by $14 per ton, returning to the level of over $1,504 per ton. This means that in the last week alone, world coffee prices increased by a total of $30 per ton. In the meantime, the domestic market has remained rather quiet as many speculators don't want to sell coffee products for fear of short supplies and low profits. In the first 7 months of this year, Vietnam exported about 790,000 tons with a turnover of $1.2 billion. Uganda is set to spend up to 2.5 trillion Ugandan shillings on its agriculture sector in the next 5 years in a bid to boost production and exports, the Minister of Agriculture said over the weekend. She said under the program, the ministry is targeting to boost the sector's growth from the current 2.6% to 6% annually. The program is targeting to increase production of food crops such as corn, rice, millet, and sorghum, as well as cash crops such as tea, coffee, and cocoa to boost export earnings. Uganda is Africa's second largest coffee producer after Ethiopia, and the continent's second largest organic cotton producer after Tanzania. The government plans to plant 20 million trees of high-yielding coffee varieties every year until 2015 in a bid to restore coffee output to 4.5 million 60-kilogram bags. Nestle Malaysia Berhad's 110 million ringgit upgraded manufacturing facilities at its Shah Alam complex are ready for its new regional soluble coffee plant for Nescafé, which will almost double its current capacity. The company will now be able to produce 80% more coffee at its newly expanded facilities and also has the option of producing high-end products under the Nescafé range. This translates into an equivalent of 6.5 billion cups of Nescafé a year, with about 50% of the production exported to the region and other parts of the world, and the remaining 50% for local consumption. Nescafé was introduced as instant soluble coffee to the world in 1938, and in Malaysia in the 1950s. In April this year, Nestle announced that it had allocated 320 million ringgit as capital expenditure, with a focus on upgrading its coffee and non-dairy creamer factories. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Coffee News. See you next time.